2 and 143 in your hard reading book. So our new story is called Teacher's Pet, and it is lesson 5. So it's the last story of this unit, which really doesn't mean very much to us, but we have 5 stories in each unit. So it's the last story of unit 1 in our book, but we still stay in this book for a little while. Teacher's Pets is a fun story. So before we get started, though, we're going to go over the vocabulary words that go along with it. Now, the first vocabulary word, I'll hold it up nice and close for you friends at home. Number 1 in our book says wonderful. And if you look at the front of the card, or if you're looking on the page 142 in your book, it says pets are wonderful. They make very good friends. And if you have something that is wonderful, or if you know that something is wonderful, it means it's very good. I also like to say it's awesome, it's fantastic, it's great. Something that's wonderful is very good. Now, noises is our next word, number 2, there in your book on page 142. On the front of the card it says, big dogs bark loudly, small dogs do not make such loud noises. So I disagree, because I think small dogs bark loudly, just higher, like, but anyways. A noise is a sound. So noises are sounds. That's all you have to remember for noises. It can be a loud sound. It can be a quiet sound, like a whisper. It can be an indoor voice sound, an outdoor voice sound. Noises are sounds. Okay, the volume can change, but it is a sound. Yanessa, you need to have your screen on, please. All right, then we have the word quiet. Yanessa, I hope you're looking at the pictures in your book so you're following along with your vocabulary. Number 3, quiet. On page 143, it says, a lizard is a very quiet pet. It does not make a sound. So if something is quiet, it means it makes very, very, very little or no sound. Okay? Then we have the word sprinkled, which is number 4. The fish food was lightly sprinkled on top of the water. When I say the word sprinkled, what do you think of when I say sprinkled? Zayden, what do you think of?
Whenever you put something on top of something, and you just do a little bit, and then.
Yeah, so you're thinking of something you might put on top of something else, and you're making that movement with your hand like I'm thinking of too, right? So he's going like this with his hands. What do you think of when I say sprinkled,
Like
Alina?
sprinkles, like sometimes you put on cupcakes.
Sprinkles on cupcakes, yep. What do you think of, Lonnie, when I say the word sprinkled?
Like what's something like sprinkle, like when I say that. And so we know what the fairy is, she sprinkles the fairy dust on a flower to make it go.
Yeah, like a fairy putting fairy dust on flowers or something like that. Yeah, or like Tinkerbell with her little sprinkly star thingies. Okay, so sprinkled, I'm glad you have that in your head. I always think of, when I hear the word sprinkled, I always think of sprinkles like on ice cream, those rainbow sprinkles on ice cream. That's what I think of. Sprinkles, or sprinkled, means to put tiny little pieces of something on top of something else. So if you think of sprinkles on ice cream or sprinkles on a cupcake, it's tiny little pieces of like candy or sugar or something that you're putting on top of the ice cream or the cupcake. Or if you think about how they show in the picture, the boy is sprinkling the fish food. That means he's taking tiny little pieces of fish food and putting them on the top of the water so that the fish can eat it. So when you sprinkle something, it means you're taking tiny little pieces of something and putting it on top of something else, like fish food, or sprinkles on a cupcake. Yum, cupcakes. All right, here we go. Share is our next vocabulary word, number 5. And it says, take pictures of your pets to share with your friends. Share means that you want to show other people something, or you want to let them use it or borrow it for a little while and then they give it back, okay? So share can mean that you're just showing it to somebody, like a picture, or it can mean that you're letting them use it for a little while and then they give it back to you when they're done with it.
Like crab.
Lonnie.
Like when Jose told me like share the vehicle that
if you shared that vehicle, then that means you would let him use it for a little bit, and then he would give it back to you. Yes. Okay? All right. And then we have the word noticed. Cute little bunny on that card. Number 6, page 143 in your book. It says, this pet rabbit noticed or looked carefully at the carrot held for it to eat. That little bunny looks really tiny compared to that carrot in that picture.
Yes.
Looks like it's a really, really tiny bunny. If you notice something, it means that you saw it, or you heard it, or you smelled it, or you felt it, or you tasted it. Your 5 senses.
Yeah.
When you notice something, you use your 5 senses. You see it, you hear it, you smell it, you taste it, or you touch it. You feel it. Okay? And bursting is our next vocabulary word, number 7. It says, look at this crowded basket. It is bursting with puppies. A cute little Dalmatian puppies on that card.
I'm almost done.
If something is bursting, think of a balloon that is ready to burst. It means it's really, 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 really full, and it might explode or pop, and everything will come out of it. Yes, Alina?
Like a balloon full of confetti and it's so big it might pop.
Like a balloon full of confetti, yes. That's very possible. It has so much air in it that it's ready to pop. Yes, Lonnie?
When you have when the vacuum cleaner opens, it's like a giant bag explodes.
Exactly. Like if you have vacuumed up a lot of stuff and the bag gets really, really full in the vacuum and it can't hold anymore, it'll just burst. It'll explode. All the stuff will come out. It'll be a real huge mess.
And when it doesn't work, it'll explode. When you can't get something out, like if there's a rock in your vacuum, you'll you put the air inside the vacuum and explode.
Well, I hope you don't have too many rocks in your vacuum, but I guess that could be possible. All right. And our last vocabulary word is the word suddenly on page 143 in your book. A pet parrot might surprise you if it suddenly says a word. If something happens suddenly, it happens without warning. Like just how I said that. You didn't expect me to say it like that, did you?
No.
You had no warning that I was going to say suddenly. It just happens. There's no warning. You don't know what's going to happen. It all of a sudden just happens, okay? All right. So we'll go over those vocabulary words as we continue to go through all of our activities this week. Because like I said, we have 5 days here this week, and then we will continue to learn this as we are at home in the next few days for Thanksgiving and then after the Thanksgiving holiday. All right. So now, yes, Gwen, what's your question?
So, in those weeks, it's pretty much all going to be like virtual.
Yeah, we'll talk about that closer to the end of the week and what you'll be expected to do at home. All right. Go ahead and turn to pages 146 and 147 in your books. We're going to start our next story, Teacher's Pets. I love this story. It is a lot of fun. Now, this story is a realistic fiction story, and we have read realistic fiction stories before. Realistic fiction stories, remember, are stories that could really happen. It's a make-believe story because it's fiction or fake, but it could happen. So a lot of times you're going to have characters who act like real people, or maybe where the story takes place, the setting could be a real place, or events, things that happen in the story could really, really happen. So even though it's a fake story, it's make-believe, there's enough real parts in it that it really could happen, okay? Our author for this story is Dale Ann Dodds. What does the author do again? Let's see if we can remember. Levi, what does the author do again?
Draws the words.
Yeah, the author writes the words. And it says that she received a very special honor in 2007. That was a long time ago. Her book, Teacher's Pets, was read to hundreds of kids on the lawn of the White House during the annual Easter egg roll. So this book was read out loud at the White House.
What? Whoa,
Wow.
It must be famous.
She must be famous. Now, our illustrator, what's our illustrator do, Jamie?
Writes the picture.
Draws the pictures, yep. Our illustrator is Marilyn Hafner. And it says, readers of Ladybug magazine know two characters created by Marilyn Hafner, Molly and her cat, Emmett. For fun, Ms. Hafner designs rubber stamps, usually with kids or animals on them. So she draws pictures and she also makes rubber stamps. Yes, Kinsley, do you have a question?
What page is it?
146, 146, and 147. Okay? Yes, Gwen.
My grandma's name is Marilyn.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. So that could be like a realistic fiction part for you, right? Okay. Now, we're not going to answer this question today, but something that we're thinking about as we're going through our story is how is a school like a community? Community is a big word. A community is a group of people who live near each other, work in the same area, go to the same places. You live in the community of Dover.
Yeah.
You live near people, you work in the same places, go to the same kinds of schools, go to the same stores, that kind of stuff. So how would a school be like a community? We're not going to answer that today, though. So, moving on. I'm just going to read through the story today so we're familiar with it. This is Teacher's Pets by Dale Ann Dodds, illustrated by Marilyn Hafner. Up here on the top, on the chalkboard, that takes me back in time, Miss Amy, the chalkboard.
I know.
Good morning, class. My name is Miss Frye. Woo! That sounds like somebody we know, doesn't it? It's a different Miss Frye, but there we go. That's how this story could be like realistic fiction for us. Remember, sometimes characters have names of people that we know? Yeah, just like us. Good morning, class. My name is Miss Frye, and this little boy down here is going, cool. Monday was sharing day in Miss Frye's class. You may bring something special, said Miss Frye. May we share a pet? Winston asked. Yes, said Miss Frye, but just for the day. On Monday, Winston brought in his pet rooster. I call him Red. He eats corn and he crows. The neighbors say he crows too much. What a wonderful pet, said Miss Frye. We're happy he can visit us today. And the rooster, of course, is saying, cock-a-doodle-doo. And all the kids are saying, cock-a-doodle-doo, back to the rooster. Only it's really loud when roosters say that. Roosters do crow a little too much. I'll say that. Okay. Now remember, Miss Frye said only for the day. Okay? But that afternoon, after all the children had left, there was Red, still sitting on his roost near Miss Frye's desk. She sprinkled corn in Red's dish, then locked the door and went home to her quiet little house. On Tuesday, Winston told Miss Frye, the neighbors wonder if Red could stay at school for a while. Of course, said Miss Frye. How lucky for us.
I want to play.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
I won't bring my balls.
The next Monday was Patrick's turn. Look what he has in his jar. My tarantula's name is Vincent. He likes to eat bugs and hide inside my mother's slippers. What a wonderful pet, said Miss Frye. Don't forget to take Vincent home with you at the end of the day. Let me tell you all something right now. You bring a tarantula in here, Miss Tucker is not going to say what a wonderful pet. No, that is not going to happen. I will not say that. But Miss Frye, she's a much better teacher than I am. She says, what a wonderful pet. Don't forget to take Vincent home with you at the end of the day. But that afternoon, after all the children had left, there was Vincent, still sitting in his jar on Miss Frye's desk. She gave Vincent a big, juicy bug, sprinkled corn in Red's dish, then locked the door and went home to her quiet little house. I think I'd like Miss Frye's house.
What is that?
On Tuesday, Patrick told Miss Frye, my mother says Vincent likes her slippers too much. We're wondering if he can stay at school for a few days. Of course, said Miss Frye. How lucky for us. The next week, Roger brought in his cricket. That's what Roger has here in the cage. His name is Mo, said Roger. He eats leaves from the garden and sings chirrup, chirrup all night long. What a wonderful pet, said Miss Frye. That afternoon, after all the children had left, Miss Frye noticed Mo sitting in his box on the table. Miss Frye looked at Mo. He almost seemed to smile. Welcome to our class, Mo. Right before her eyes, he did a huge somersault up, up, up in the air. Bravo, said Miss Frye. She gave fresh green leaves to Mo and a big juicy bug to Vincent, sprinkled corn in Red's dish, then locked the door and went home to her quiet little house. The next day, Roger said to Miss Frye, my mother says Mo chirps too much. He's welcome to visit as long as he likes, said Miss Frye. So now they have a rooster, a tarantula, and a cricket in the classroom. Whew. And so it went. Aaliyah shared her pet goat named Gladys. It said bah and ate her sister's homework.
What?
Amanda shared her pet dachshund. It liked to chew bones and the pillows on her Aunt Judy's new sofa. Sounds like a dog in my house. Jerry brought in his pet boa constrictor. It never made a sound. No one knew exactly what it liked to eat, but Jerry said his father's expensive tropical fish had suddenly disappeared one day. Oops, let me turn our page here. There was Megan's cat, Mitchell's mice, Daniel's ducks, and Tom's iguana, Frankie's frog, Lily's monkey, Terrence's turtle, and something square and fuzzy that Avery brought in. It looks like a kitchen sponge, said Bruce. A really old kitchen sponge.
That's not a pet.
It's my pet, said Avery.
What?
And that was that. So she has a pet sponge. Nothing wrong with that. Before long, Miss Frye's classroom was bursting with the happy noises of all the children's pets. Quack, 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 meow, meow, cock-a-doodle-doo, bah, ribbit, ribbit, squeak, squeak, chirp, chirp, woof, woof. I imagine that's now a very noisy classroom, wouldn't you say? Look at the looks on the teachers' faces, too, as they're walking past the classroom door. Now I know why they keep their door shut. On Parents' Night, the mothers and fathers walked around the classroom with great big smiles on their faces. Isn't it great, they said, that Miss Frye loves pets so?
What is it?
Only Roger's cricket sat quietly in his box. You must miss your garden, Miss Frye said. Chirp, said Mo softly. He crawled under one of his shiny green leaves. Look at all the animals we have here. We have some ducks over here and over on the floor. Here's the tarantula.
Escaping.
Looks like it's getting out. There's a cat. There's a frog. There's the rooster sitting on the back of the chair with a mouse sitting on the chair in front of it and some more mice under the chair. There's the dachshund dog. There's the goat. Looks like it's eating a bowl of cereal. There's the iguana. The boa constrictor. The turtle. The monkey. And poor little Mo still in his box. He's hiding under a green leaf. That's a very busy, busy classroom. Okay. On the last day of school, Miss Frye's class had a party with balloons, hats, and ice cream cups. Goodbye, children, Miss Frye sang out. Have a nice summer. And don't forget to take home your pets. One by one, the children disappeared, and with them went their pets. There goes our boa constrictor and our rooster and our monkey and our goat, our iguana. No more pets, said Miss Frye. She looked around the quiet, empty room. Then Miss Frye noticed a box sitting on her desk. She peeked inside. A little face looked up at her. It almost seemed to smile. A note inside read, "Dear Miss Frye, please take care of Mo. He likes you best. Roger." "How lucky for me," said Miss Frye. Mo did a huge somersault up, up, up in the air. Miss Frye carried her new pet to her quiet little house and placed him in the garden among the rainbow of roses. I like that sentence, the rainbow of roses. That night, Miss Frye opened her window. She climbed into bed. She turned off the lamp. By the light of the moon, from outside in the garden came a happy noise. Chirrup, chirrup. "Welcome home, Mo. What a wonderful pet you are." So Miss Frye kept Mo the cricket after all and put him in the garden among the rainbow of roses. All right? All right. So that's our story, Teacher's Pets. I just wanted to read through